Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Coral Seeds from CZT Suzanne McNeill. All right, thinking in the lines of what I like to call the watery category, it fits in by title and by look, but I think you can have a lot of fun with this in a lot of other ways as well. Thinking like Halloween, things like that. All right, starts off with a nice S-shaped curve line. I'm going to start right here in this corner. Sure, it's going to look like that. And then I'm going to find a better pen. Let's see, how is this one? Oh yeah, that one looks nice and broken. While I do this, because I don't like to it'll work. I don't like to make cuts or redo. But be careful if you're using this kind, the microns with the nib. You can see I have a nice has a nice bend to it. Let me trace over this line. And sometimes the one I was using, I think, is kind of down to the metal, and it's not necessarily an S shape, but it's close, and it will work because this is Zentangle. All right, then we're gonna aura this, and we're gonna start at one end connected, work our way out, and then merge back in at the other end. So the neat thing about you can only do one line at a time, obviously, but you can decide. It's kind of a built-in course correction. Oh, which side shall I go on? I think I'm going to take this one on the underside. And of course, you get to play with the width, the everything. All right. And for our purposes, I'm going to do, let's see if I can do two more. I am apparently, I don't know what okay. I'm just here to prove that Zentangle works no matter what your pen decides to do. It's like those aren't quite S shapes. Oh, but whatever. Let's see if I can make one that's more S-y here. Well, no. It's all right. It just makes it more interesting. And again, it doesn't matter. Whatever you do is good. And sometimes the pen has a really great idea, or the hand has a really great idea in mind. And instead of, fighting with the brain, it just says, I'm going to do it and live with it, deal with it. So there we go. So, and this, you can do this whatever shape you want to do, right? All right, then we're going to start anywhere. I'm going to start right here, and we're going to do some nice curve lines going in towards, where you started, so in towards that center. And of course, you decide your the distance in between and all of that. Now, usually when I'm doing, this is kind of aura-ing, and usually when I do it, I like to have a clear view of what the contour that I'm aura-ing against. And the pen is in the way, but there's always a fight in my head. It's like, well, do I use the natural curve of my hand? Because what we want to do is you want to plant your hand, keep it comfortable, and then use that, because you get a little bit of more consistency than not, versus, if I did it this way, that's not necessarily as comfortable, but, I'm going down and I can see clearly where where I have been. So it's just a toss-up. And then you just work your way to the other sides. You could start at one end. For whatever reason, I just have gotten in the habit of starting things in the middle and then working my way out both sides. This, you don't have to worry about lining anything up at all. Although, as I'm making it from one line to the next would be great. You know, and then 2, you said I'm moving the tile with this hand, so this one just stays in the same place. You don't have to do that. It's just something that ends up happening. But with that, if you're doing a lot and you're doing that every once in a while, take a little hand stretch break. Also, good idea. I haven't mentioned this in a long time. Also, not a bad idea. Take an eyeball break. You know, like focus in on something across the room. And breathe every once in a while. I find I need to remind myself of those things when I have something like this that is really repetitive and where you don't have to think and you're not looking back at a step out every step of the way or so. It's just nice. You know, and I think too the reason I like doing it from the middle and out is I can, like, if I wanted to make a bigger scoop here or something like a deeper curve, then you can. And doing it in the middle, it kind of sort of sets the stage, I guess. I don't know. It is just a thought. But you can see how neat this is. It could look like a wing too, like if you are into, say, dragons or something like that. And there we have it. Okay, next, shading. Now, of course, you could, if you wanted to, you could do some patterns, you know, up in these solid parts. You could fill it in solid as well. Or, I'm picturing orbs, but then again, I don't know. But it's up to you. Or dots. Up to you. I'm just going to leave them as they are. And I'm going to shade. I'm going to leave them also, for the most part, feeling a weird edge on this pencil. As you can see, it is, I'm going to use it until there's nothing left. It's always a goal. All right. So just some graphite, and I'm doing one side at a time because that way I can do that and then spread it out. As I go, and then 2, because those curve lines, just the curve lines alone can, well, it depends on where, you know, the way you look at it, I suppose. It adds dimension without even doing the shading. The shading just brings it to life. And so you could decide, oh, maybe you just want to do one side. So that's another reason why I like doing one side at a time. I'm getting some in that crevice, but I'm not worrying about it. And that looks neat. I am going to do the other side. I feel like it needs to be a little bit darker though. But we'll do the other side and see where we go. Actually, let's give this a little sharpen. Well, okay. You know, when you change pencil sharpener, sometimes it's not a good idea because they have different angles. All right, so never mind on that part. Oh, but it did do something. I think sometimes, and if you've experienced this too, you feel free to put it in the comments. We're talking about this with the white charcoal pencils, but sometimes even with the graphite, it's almost like it gets, it's not, I mean, clogged up isn't the right word, but it feels that way. And that's what this was feeling like, going, I'm doing this, but it doesn't feel like the graphite's doing what it normally does. And then you give it a nice sharpen, and then it seems like it's free flowing. It's just interesting. And this, I'm just trying to do more of a back and forth than little circles, because I want to make the gradient, but I want to also make sure to have original tile color in there. And down here, it's fine if it's more gray, because it's all gathering down there, and that would be normal. That is neat, but yeah, I'm gonna at least up here at the top, and I'm not necessarily gonna bring it out any further. I just want it darker right there at that edge. So you go over it to smooth it out, and and it so that I don't have that harsh line. Yeah. Really, really neat. And you know what? It's also interesting, depending, because as I was looking at it this way, here, these look like they're bumped, like they're ridges going up. But then you look at it this way, well, I guess it kind of still is. Maybe if you put graphite in the center, then it would make it look like it's bending the other way. Either way, really, really neat. It's an interesting tangle and a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click like. And if you liked it enough to see more, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Also, leave comments, share it, all of that. I appreciate any and all of those activities, as it helps with the algorithm, to get the word out about the channel. So I appreciate that. In the description section are links to step outs. Now, there was no link to Suzanne's step out, and it comes from one of her books, I do believe, and the references are on it's at Tangle Patterns where I found it. But Linda has a video where Suzanne is demonstrating it. So I basically did the step outs from her demonstration. But do take a look there. It is for more inspiration, and she was drawing a bird and using tangles, and she used this as the tail feathers. Really, really neat. Also, in the description section, link to my website. So if you want to connect, if you want to take classes, I do online classes twice a week. Most of them are free, and I do have some that are paid, so I can keep in pens and paper and electricity and all that kind of thing. And so information is on the website, also on my Facebook page, so you can follow me there. And if you want to be part of the conversation and part of the fun, we have a fantastic Tangle Addicts community, a Facebook group, and we'd love to have you join us. There are 3 questions that you have to answer to gain entry. And yeah, like I said, if you happen to be on Facebook, and want to hang out, we like to hang out with you. Can't have too many tangly friends. All right, so with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.